Hello everyone, I'm Ethan from Innovative Hobby Supply, and today I will be showing you how to build the Real Roadside Diner build kit. This model is in 1/48 scale, features a retro diner with some illusion rooms and some really great 3D elements that bring this model to life. You can get this kit for yourself and many others at innovativehobbysupply.com. A link to the products in the description below. Let's get right into it. So this is everything that's included in your model building kit. We're going to set these aside for now and we'll revisit them later. The first thing that we're going to do is to cut out all the pieces from these 3 pages. You can do that with just a regular household scissors or with a hobby knife and a straight edge. Great. Now that we have everything cut out, I'm going to take a washable marker and go along the edges of all the pieces we just cut out. You can see that when you cut, it creates this white line. But when you take a marker, you can go right over the edges of it and that white disappears. And this is optional, but does lead for a better product. See the difference? So I'm gonna go and do that to all of these pieces, and you wanna get a marker that matches the color as closely as you can. Now that all of the pieces have been prepped, we can start assembling. I like to start with the 3D elements. On this model we have the air vents and the Jim's Cafe signs. When applying these, you don't want them to lay flat up against them. You want them to rise just a little to give it that 3-dimensional look. The best way to do that is to apply just a little bit of hot glue. While that's setting, get your piece, make sure that the vents are facing the right way, and just gently apply pressure until it is sitting just above. And you can see there how that's sitting just above, and it's giving that nice 3-dimensional look, even catching the shadows. So I'm gonna do that for all of these. And you can even prep 2 or 3 of these at a time before your glue. And you don't want to put too much, just enough so that it doesn't squeeze out the side. And for these, you can add, say, about 3 of those little drops across it. Make sure you got it lined up right. Just gently set it down. Onto the air vents. For these, we have to score and fold these down to make a 3-dimensional box. And to score these, you want to get your straight edge and hobby knife and applying some light pressure, and definitely not enough to cut through, but just to get a nice cut. With those scored, you should be able to just fold those down. Now you can use your ruler, your straight edge, to kind of act as a stopping point, so you can get a real nice fold on these. Great, and then once you have them all folded up, start in one corner with just a little bit of glue. Yes, hot glue is hot, be careful. Hold that for a bit. And we'll set, and you move on to the next. Once all 4 of these sides are together, you'll notice that you can see all of the white where we just scored. So you can take your marker now and go in, and it's really nice to have a fine point marker so you can just make those go away. And with these washable markers, if you get them on the surface, you can just wipe them off. Finishing touch, a little 3D fan. And once you get all that together, go around the edges of this piece, maybe fill this with just a little more glue. That is your roof finished. And this other AC unit is gonna go on the ground. I'm gonna build it now, but we're gonna set it aside and come back to it once we have all the walls constructed. Now let's talk about doors. So a cool thing that this kit comes with are these illusion rooms. So this is the front. If you were to cut this door open, you could look in and see the counter and these stools. For the back, the deliveries only area, you go ahead and put that there. This is completely optional. You can choose to leave the door shut and ignore the illusion rooms altogether, or open them like I'm about to do. So to get the doors open, you want to not cut along the hinged side. And then along the top. And then for the hinge side, you want to score it just lightly so that it can bend inwards. Now we have a door. So I'm gonna do that. These as well. These are double doors, so we're gonna cut down the center and along the top and score the two hinged sides. And there we go. And if you want them to open the other way, you gotta score them from the back. Now let's start assembling. So I'm gonna lay a bead of glue right along the edge here. Your next wall. Make sure your corners are nice and tight. Everything is straight and up the sides. It's nice to have these small glue guns so you can get into these tight spots. Alright, now before I put on this last wall, I'm going to put in my illusion room. I'm gonna put mine, say right here. I'm gonna line it up with the checkered floor so it's nice and straight, somewhat centered, and then a little more glue. And this one, gonna go on this side, same thing. Now with those in, you can put the last wall down. All right, starting to come together. Next, we're gonna put the roof on. Before we can, you see that there's a slant here, and that is marked with this white line right above E here today. And we're gonna score that. This one, definitely getting that straight edge in there to help get a real nice fold on it. That's just gonna go right on top. Okay. Now this is a little tricky. I'm gonna get the two sides. Try to be quick about it so that it doesn't set. Go. And make sure you line it all up. Don't want to force anything or you're gonna get some weird bends you're not looking for. Next, now that we have this all done, we're going to be doing the cafe sign. So we have two halves of Jim's Cafe and that edging piece. So with these, it's really important that you make sure that your text is the right way. So I know that this is upwards, I'm facing it down, so that when I put glue on here, it's gonna be the right way. Now with these, you can put them however you want, but the important thing is to just make sure that the bottoms are the same distance. So that it'll sit flat onto the base of the model. And you can see that these aren't exactly the same length, so just a little bit of fidgeting to get it where you want it. And if you don't get it right the first time, you can trim these off once you have it all together. And then this edging is difficult, but you can get it on there just fine. You're gonna want to fill this with a good amount of glue so you have plenty to stick to. Acting quickly. Starting at the bottom, you're gonna take that and just get it between the two layers and wrap it around. Now we're gonna have a little bit of extra, so you're gonna find that point. Mine looks like it's lining up pretty nicely with that dot. So I'm gonna take my scissors and just cut the extra, and then put some more glue in here to finish it off. And that's Jim's Cafe. We're in the home stretch now. Just have a few more things, and they're all pretty easy. On today's special sign. And these are all optional. You don't have to add them, but I will because it's fun. Just lightly score. Get that folded. This is very similar here to the AC units. Just scoring the sides. Don't want to press too hard or you'll bend the piece. Oh, we have this little guy back from earlier. You can set him on top. I'm going to use a yellow marker and get the creases. And this is the last thing to assemble. So these we're gonna score the center of them, and these just fold together. Leave those in a moment. With those four sides together. Just gonna fill that up so we have plenty for the second half. Make sure that your text is going the right way. All right, we are on the last step. We're just gonna start gussying up the joint. We have all these little extra things to build the world here. I'm gonna put my cafe sign right here. Just a big pool of glue so that we can get both of those posts in it. Over here, put our best home cooking, this little street sign. We'll put that out front. Not in the handicap parking though. The AC unit out in the back, there's a little spot for it. And the most fun part, putting on the moss. The best thing to do with this is to dump it out, and it kinda naturally has these clumps, so you can pull it apart and find a good sized piece. Yeah, this looks like a little tree. And I'm gonna put it right here on my street sign, kind of hide that pool of glue. This is all just whatever you're feeling. All right, and the last step, putting little people in it. A little bit of glue on the feet. Great, we are done. That's it. This model is really easy to build and looks great. Make sure to check out innovativehobbysupply.com if you're interested in building this yourself, and subscribe to the channel for more photoreal model building tutorials from Innovative Hobby Supply.